I almost stayed quiet and I almost let her wait for an hour for nothing. You see, there was a bus strike today here in London, England, and I already had rerouted because I had 3 appointments today and the whole negotiation on the fly all day. And this is part of the series where I ask the question, show me how great today can be series, where I document what happened when I asked my brain a faith-based question and then watch what it finds, right? Hi, I am Nene, and I help people become the person their goals actually require. And everything I share here is something that I have lived first. And today was a good one because if you've ever know something useful and you then hesitate to say it because nobody asked you, but this one will be for you. Let's talk about it because this strike, right? I didn't even know there was a strike. It was a bus strike. Like when there is a train strike, everybody knows, right? Everybody's aware. But with a bus one, it's very subtle, except with you. And with this strike, it is a case where there were some bus routes that were just non-functioning today. And then some were like delayed, some were like extremely delayed, right? And I didn't know it was happening. My had a really not, late appointment. I had 3 jobs today as a freelance sign language interpreter. So I just go to different locations. So my first one's about 10 o'clock-ish. Not clockish, it's 10 o'clock. And from my home, it would have taken me 45 minutes to get there. And I decided earlier this year that I'm only going to go, like, I'll just use the buses, except for emergency situation, then I would use the train. Because I just thought, you know what, some of the routes is just barely saving me 15 minutes, 20, some like, yes, it's really saving me. But I just thought like, no, we're using buses for most things. So hence when the bus strike happened today, and I went to my, because I didn't know, like use the normal time, the first one, I got to my first stop, the next change, that bus was one that was part of the no-go list. It was non-functioning today. And okay, we get to use the train. And fortunately, because of like the later time and using the train was just like a couple of stops, we got in during the off-peak time. It wasn't crazy busy as I would have expected because of the tube strike. Again, it's a holiday, so a lot of people might be away. I mean, it's school break and all that stuff. Went into my first one, walked down, just easy. So it's like, even with the whole thing going on, it was fine. Got to that one. And then again, now realized my next booking, that bus again was one of the no-go. It wasn't functioning today. Had to en route. I found a place. And because my next one had time, I even had like 2 hours after I got to the location. And then I got to the place, I met, I say found, I met another colleague a spoken interpreter who we've co-worked before in the sense that what I mean by that is I, as a sign language interpreter for one of the couples, and she interpreted for the spoken, she interpreted for the other partner in their language. The partner, however, was more, they were hard of hearing. And even though they sign, but they didn't really know BSL like that, but then they could understand their own spoken language and all those things. So we had worked for a while in an ongoing case and stuff like that. So it was good to catch up and just see how things are. We talked about like what's going on in our industry, in her industry, how things are changing, like all those things. I was able to just spend a whole hour, which is very rare, to just spend time with someone else, just chatting and catching up and like, telling her what I'm doing and all those things, and sharing her experience of how she got into the industry and me, her, and all those things. Anyway, we got chatting. So yeah, so that was what other evidence of like how good today happened, right? Went into my next one, got there, on time, chilled. Luckily, yeah, got to the place. because I met her in one building and then mine was in a next connecting thing because it was a break. It's okay, I'll go and hang in the canteen. So that's where we kind of like we met in the hallway and got to the spent a good hour. I was so thankful to just catch up. I got to know her even better. Because we never get that cross pollination kind of like thing going. So it's also good to have that. Yeah, got to my second one, introduced myself. The person hadn't arrived. I stayed, like went to a corner to like charge my thing. But my time has passed. I mean, I was looking at them and she could see me. So if she had to like, okay, here, your person's here, I would have seen her and everything. But nothing. So now we're talking about 20 minutes later. I'm like, okay, who? Oh, they've checked in. I'm like, okay, like where are they? Are they in? And then she's like, oh, like call up for them. I'm like, my person is deaf. So I can't be calling out somebody's name. And I mean, yeah, you say you can still call out. Yeah, I don't feel comfortable as a sign language interpreter calling somebody. You can call. I'm there signing, like trying to like say, do some signs like, hey, hi, like, who's here, and stuff like that. And nobody was like, nobody's responding. And apparently they're here, they're not here. We go looking, couldn't find this person. And my time is now ticking to the hour. Again, I would have been worried. Just make sure this thing is charged, even though I still have enough power. But let's just make sure everything's right. Yeah, I was ticking and everything, and like couldn't figure out. Like checked, and then turned out they hadn't checked in. I'm like, okay, all right. Stay the hour, got me signed off. So now to my next one, and I had to use the train again because look, we're not doing no whatever. Came up to the other end. Luckily, the bus that I needed, there was like it wasn't one of those no zone thing. Came, waited for a while. It came in, and I was able to catch up with some of my people I've done like mastermind with before we kind of like ended, and we just once in a while we just meet and catch up again. So it was great to just see how they were doing, how things were for them and how things are happening, and it was good to like catch up like that and to see how they were going. Finally got to the location. The person hadn't arrived, and so I was like, okay, it was a home visit. Finally found the place. Got in touch. Oh, I'm running late. I'm coming. Again, it's hot. It's one of the hot. Yesterday was the hottest day. Today wasn't that. Was still hot. We're still in the 35 degree. Like my goodness, and there was a Costa across the road. I haven't tried an iced tea before. Not iced tea. I had So they're doing. I had a mocha, an ice mocha. I've never had that before, so it was like interesting feeling because it was hot. Like I don't want something hot as well, so we had that. Waited for them to come. Did what like came in. It was all chilled, all lovely. Time to go home. Now waiting the bus stop. Now the bus that I needed was one of those that was running on the call display thing. He kept saying 1 minute, 1 minute, 1 minute. And I just knew that look, there's no point bothering with that. When you see it, you see it. So I used the app, checked the app. The app said that the one I'm not is not even coming anytime soon. So it was a case of like for me, I had to keep routine to figure out the ones that were functioning, ones weren't functioning, and then be able to connect to myself. So now I'm thinking, okay, I can either take this next bus or a particular bus and then walk home, or wait for this, like just start negotiating like how I get to do this while I'm there doing my own mental math of like how do I now get home after now everything had just gone smoothly, everything was fine. And then I'm there, like waiting for the bus to go home on the bus stop. Again, you're seeing a thing and you can see everyone like looking like, 1 minute, like, okay, this bus is coming. Oh, okay, two of the bus we're waiting for is coming. Like, you can hear someone saying, and it's like, man, I've been waiting, I've been here for like, almost like 40 minutes and still this bus is, it keeps saying like, da 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 da. And like the old me would have heard that and be wishing them and telling them the information in my head, like telepathically, like this is what's going on. But for me, they didn't ask me, nor was it my business. But I could hear the conversation between these two people in the bus stop. They were sitting on the bus bench and I was standing. I mean, it was packed in semi, like, we're all there. But you could hear the conversation, like, why, when is this bus coming? Like, what's going on? And when someone doesn't know there's a strike or doesn't know that there's something going on or whatever, well, right? They didn't ask me. And, I would have had that fear of overstepping because it was none of my business and people are talking and then I'm feeling like, I get to now. But I had a choice, right? And I chose to say something gently because this older lady, like, you're going to be here forever if you don't know this information, like, to think of other ways to get closer to home than waiting for that one that is actually not going to come. And you're here. And I just went and mentioned this to them, like, look, just in case you don't know, there's actually a bus strike going on and some buses are not running. And then I went into the app and I could see all the buses that are non-functioning and the bus they were waiting for, guess what? Wasn't coming. And the other one is like, even though it's saying it's coming, it's not coming. And with that, she was one of the ladies were able to, she realized that, okay, this one that is like running like clockwork, because that one's, I don't know, that one was while I was standing there, I saw like two of those ones come by. That one is like a fast bus. It doesn't stop on every bus stop. It stops at a particular bus stop. And with her, it goes past her place. And we just got talking. I just said, look, you're better off taking that one and be closer to home and see if any of the buses close to home is running and then you can take it back to you. And if none is working, at least you're closer and you can walk home. Do you know what I mean? And the other lady was like, okay, this one's not coming. I'm figuring out. So just know that now the one you're waiting for might take longer and it might be packed. So the chances of you getting on might be slim because we're not in the close to the beginning of the route, so we're like bang in the middle for most of the buses that are going to go past that way. So it was a case of like, go closer to home rather than just being where you are. Because there is no guarantee that thing for today, it's not working, it's not correct because of the strike. Is just showing you just for showing sake. So yeah, that's kind of like what happened. And then other people started chiming in like, oh, is it? Yeah. And there's another one next week. Started talking about that one. And this person will come in. And then I feel like, you could see someone like, when someone's like, oh, like wanting to know, you can just see and like, oh, like what boss are you waiting for? Like I started engaging people. So it became like a boss conversation. Like everyone's kind of like chiming in. And this is coming from someone who's an introvert. I know it's really hard to tell, but I am a core. But when I get to step up, I step up. And I was like, and it just felt good, like letting people and supporting people, and like, how can we all get home safely? How can we get home than being here in the next hour or two waiting for that one bus that's never gonna come, or that one bus that only runs very not frequently, or supposed to frequently, that, and you'll be here forever. So yeah, so we got talking, and one guy was like, you know what, I'm just gonna walk home. I know I don't want to walk in these heats, but I've been waiting here for another like what, 15-20 minutes. I'm going now. And because we had that conversation, he too didn't know about the strike, so he's like, oh, I sis was like, okay, I know sis now. And yeah, that kind of like happened. Then I came home and my kids they're actually we're still having our break here. They're having cooking lessons. So I signed them up for some cooking lessons. So came home to a cook meal. I didn't come home to what we eating. So that's how great today was. Like normally it would be like, okay, what are we having for dinner? Like what's going on? So I signed up my two younger ones to learn some cooking. And yeah, I came home right when they were finishing the class. They were doing the tasting to the tutors. It was like a group. Like I'll do a more detailed review about how that went. But I came home to a meal. So today was great. So sometimes the kindest thing you can do is to share what you know, right? Share what you know, even if the sharing Nobody asks. Because the same instinct is what drives me showing up here online. Is what drives me showing up here wherever you're watching and seeing me right now. I'm sharing before I'm being asked. Because sometimes, like, what I'm sharing is what I have lived through, what I have gone through. And I'm speaking to me of then, me that struggled back then and how things were, allowing those insecurities, the self-doubt, the worries and all those things stop me from going on. Do you know what I mean? So that same way is like, I have this information and I'm just going to keep it to myself and let people be stranded, suffer, or whatever, while I just carry on my business. No. So I don't know. Have you ever know something or know something that a stranger didn't know or someone that you don't really know and you had to decide whether you should say something or not? Let's carry on that conversation in the comment section. Let's share ideas. How do you approach this? What do you say? How do you deal with that? And if you haven't done so right already, subscribe so that you know, like, when I do this, even though I do it every single day, what topics, and you can get those notifications and everything. Because yeah, we do this every single day. And remember that your voice matters and it is your time to use it. Let's carry on the conversation in the comment section. Bye for now.